Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and this afternoon, I would like to talk about Hammertoes. And we're going to do this the same way as we've done the other common foot and ankle problems. We're going to do it through answering the 4 questions. So number 1, what is a hammer toe? So if you remember in these discussions, you're actually expecting the toes to all be pretty straight. A hammer toe is where the toe starts to curl, and it will curl at the metatarsal joint, so it can actually curl up. It can curl at each of the joints themselves, and it can become a pretty good contracted toe. So a hammer toe is where it's just mainly the first 2 joints that are the problem. A mallet toe would be if it was just the tip of the toe, and a claw toe would be all 3. So if you've got all of them going, it's really a claw toe. All of them are diagnosed typically in your chart or in the medical records as hammer toes, and that's just the contracture. So number 2 is, why does it happen? As with many other things, number 1 reason, of course, is genetics. It's really the way the feet are designed. It's the way the muscles are functioning. It's the way that you're walking. If you were to adjust the way you're walking by simple orthotic stuff like that, you can actually prevent the progression and worsening of hammer toes, but it's really a genetic problem. But if you want to get a little bit more intrinsic, get a little bit closer to what's going on, you have muscles on the top and you have muscles on the bottom. And a true reason for having hammer toes is there's an imbalance. Some of these muscles are working more than others, and it's causing the toes to curl. Most common is that the toes are lifted from tightening of the extensor muscles, and then the flexors flex to try to get the toe back down to the ground. But you can get them where it's more the flexor overpowering the extensor, and it could cause it as well. So hammer toes are caused by an overpowering of one muscle group over another. It's usually a genetic etiology. It can be worsened by shoes. It can be worsened by activities. It can be improved by orthotics or doing some of those kind of things. Number 3 is, what can you do for it at home? I already talked a little bit about this. There are splints and padding and orthotics that can actually help this at home. If you get into a custom orthotic and you treat it at home, where you're actually you're changing the way you walk enough, that can actually fix it at home. There are ways that you can actually splint the toe down that will actually prevent the overpowering of one muscle group over the other. Most of these don't fix the problem, they reduce the symptoms. When would I go to the doctor? Really, when it becomes a problem. When you say, okay, yeah, my toes are contracted, they've been contracted my whole life, but now they're starting to hurt. Or now they're starting to rub on the top of the shoe and they're creating a sore or a blister or whatever. Or now I'm starting to get pretty significant discomfort in the tips of the toes because of how they're hitting the ground and so forth. All of those reasons are a reason to be seen for hammer toes. And if you're just saying, I want to be seen just to see if there's something I can do to prevent it, that's not a bad idea, because you can get into an orthotic, you can get into some of those kind of things to prevent it from getting worse. But really, when it starts to interfere with life, that's when you should think about doing something more permanent, which may include surgery. This is Dr. Brandt Gibson, and this is your Podiatry Tips Day 160, Hammer Toes. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.